Hello, my name is Faruk Ekic. Here I would like to share my favorite bonefish fly with you. Ever since my retirement, more than 20 years ago, I have expanded my freshwater fishing season to include the saltwater floods in winter. Last 15 years, I favored Cuba for my winter options, and it is there where I developed this fly for bonefish. It has become my favorite because it was accepted readily even by those wise big bonefish that cruise the flats not in the school but singly as a lone individual. I call those bonefish amicably singleton after that fine adult beverage from Scotland. Hence, I named this fly Boney. It is my only shrimp imitation I now fish. I will show you here how I tie it, but be forewarned that this is my first attempt at making video with my phone on top. And I hope for your understanding that there'll be some newbie mistakes. For this fly, I'm using Ahrex SA250 hook in sizes 4 and 6. This attached to the base of my vise is a length of old fly line which I use to place on a point of the hook in order to practice safe tying. Safe for the thread and my fingers, especially my half thumb. As a child, I was introduced to fly fishing in Bosnia. That was in 1950s, before the existence of bobbins. There, in millennia-old tradition, flies were tied in hand with a pre-cut length of thread. It was necessary to finish each step with half hitch in order to keep previous wraps tight. So, you will notice that I still practice it as I believe in that method. Tying with my automatic bobbin as I do, which places the thread under the constant spring tension, half hitch doesn't take extra time while allowing me to be frugal with the wraps, saving the bulk. Thread I will be using here is Uni 6/0 Chartreuse color. For weight, I'm using tungsten. I do not use the lead, and tungsten is almost 4 times denser than brass, reducing physical size. Here I'm using 1/8 of an inch or a 3 millimeter, always in silver for this shrimp, bell's eye, which after positioning it right, I will make a few wraps in a number 8 fashion from both sides, and then proceed to go from under the hook, over the bell's eye, down under the hook to the other side, over the bell's eye, and do this with several wraps to follow, coming from under the hook and under the bell's eye with a few very tight wraps to tighten all this. All of this from starting to build the base with the thread is with the maximum thread tension, which I get when palming my free end of the spool. Then we forward the thread into the hook's bend. Material tied here will stand upward when fly is sitting on the bottom. My favorite fur is polar bear because of its unique characteristic. The hair is transparent and hollow, which scatters the light such that it sparkles and glistens. Here, I will be using the polar bear that comes from the top of the head or neck, which is full of the very fine underfur. For the egg sac, I will use the one that I colored in orange, and selecting a bunch using my groomer comb, I will comb it to align the fibers in one direction before cutting, and then holding the tips of the guard hair, I'll separate and pull underfur only. That underfur is gonna be tied such that it extends about hook up past the bend. Very tight couple turns. You don't need multiple wraps if you place the thread. Then I fold it over, and again with a couple very tight turns, lock it in place. Now, I will lift most of it up, leaving just a few to extend, to give some halo of the color down below, and cut the rest short of the hook bend straight for a hot spot or egg sac imitation, like that. Next up are whiskers, which I do from the wood duck feather that has a little darker barring, and it's placed equally on each side of the hook to protrude same to the whiskers length. Just a two loose wraps to check the length and position. Like this. Then I tighten it. I make eyes, which are next. I make them from a check glass seed bead, size 11/0, either in orange, black, or yellow. For durability, I prefer to tie a tight knot in a monofilament instead of melting it and then finish it with UV resin. Positioning it here so that it stands up to the side and flaring up just past the bend of the hook. I tighten it. I will do this side now in a similar way. Yeah, that is good. Thread is playing a very important role on this fly. It is used to build underbody in a good profile, so I don't spare the thread. I'm repeatedly going back and forth to build it such that it favors the front, this end of the fly, to be a little bit more prominent. Next are antennas. I have two of them. First set is hair, and here, my favorite hair for this type of antenna is a porcupine from the forehead, which I harvested from the roadkill. It is very well tapered, flexible, strong, and extremely durable for this. It should be tied between the eye and the hook such that it extends about 1.5 lengths of the body. Like this. And it also flares slightly to the side. It's tied in the same way between the eye. Same length. Like that. I hope you can see it. Next set of antenna is from rubber leg material in a sandy color, and I place them same way like the first set, between the eye and a hook. I like to go back in toward the hook eye with few wraps to give me a space when I fold this end forward to position it properly. When I'm close, I tie them together. Next is ribbing, and ribbing is uni stainless size small or 3/1000 of an inch wire. Next is a heckle for the legs. And this is a light ginger feather which I stripped on one side. Next comes dubbing. And this method is a bit different. And I use it when managing unruly materials such as seal, polar bear, synthetics like SLF or angel hair, etc. I place my bobbin rest so that it keeps the thread perpendicular to the hook on my side, and then coat it with a Overton's Wonder Wax, which is a very good grip to hold the materials. For the body dubbing, I select a clump from the white polar bear and do the same. I comb it to align the fibers. Holding the tips of the guard hair, I pull the underfur and keep it in a very, very sparse layer like this that will be placed on the top of the thread, and again try to make it as sparse as possible, because its role here is to show the color through that fur, add some movement because this fur is very playable. I need more. And a white color. Then, using my dubbing spinner, but only the top pigtail, I will hook it behind. I will support the fur and go with my bobbin over the fur, capturing the fur between two threads, and lock the dubbing loop. And then advance tight toward the bullseye. Now I unlock my rest and bring it forward, placing my thing. I have to check my fur hair is right. I spin it. Holding it very tight, I use the Velcro end of my groomer and tease all the loose hair out. Then, holding thread tight, I fold in one direction, pinching it. And then, placing my forefinger there and holding the spinner tight, I will start dubbing it, and this method helps of orienting the fur in one direction, minimizing the overlap of the fur. Then I proceed in evenly spaced turn toward dumbbell's eyes. Right there, holding it tight, I will place very tight thing over first, then freely go under, back up, under the spinner, back up three times, it's good enough, and then with a tight couple turn, finish it on this end. Back to the bobbin rest. Next comes heckle. And using my heckle pliers, I go full turn in front, and then in 3 or 4 wraps advance to the bullseye. Again, holding it tight here. I'll make sure I'm catching the heckle on the side of the band, and then back to lock. Next, with the same heckle plier, I will pick up my ribbing wire, which is very fine, hard to see even. Going in the opposite direction, of course, I will wiggle it in between the heckle and the fur in a close wraps, tight, until the end where I finish with a few wraps to make a final locking. Next, again using my groomer Velcro end, I will comb all of this heckle and the dubbing in direction of the bend of the eye, encouraging it to stay in that general direction, all of it. As you can probably see, the dubbing is forming like a whale or halo around the body. Now, I will cut all the hair in a heckle that is here on the top, because we don't need it, and I'm trying to get a very slim silhouette. I'll do the same thing on the bottom side. so that nothing stands in the way of the dumbbell's eyes when positioning the fly on the bottom. Like this. Next, from the clump of hair that I made a dubbing, I will pull just a few guard hair to serve as an underwing for the carapace and place it such that it extends just beyond the whiskers length, like that. Tying it such that the rear end or butt end will extend in a flared position above the hook eye, because it will be a part of a tail, shrimp tail, so I flare it. Like that, tying it tight. Next is a carapace, which I make from the wood duck feather, in this case choosing very light coloration of this, like a sand of the thing. And in some cases, I make it darker because of some area that have a turtle grass. I place it centrally over, wrap a couple soft loops, pull this until it reaches just with the tips just inside of the hook bend. And it straddles both the underwing and the body, and then tie it here. Next, I lift the tail, both hair and the feather, and with a few wraps underneath, I prop it up and then go forward to finish the head, and we finish it. Now, do some cutting. Tail should be cut proportional to the body. In this case, just coming to the end of the hook eye. And it should stand up, proud, up, and flaring. Also, I will cut my rubber leg antenna to be the same, approximately same like a hair. Then I'll cover the thread both on top and around with 2 coats of head cement. Fly is finished. It has a very low profile, good coloration, my last trip to the Cuba was in this mid-December of 2025 to mid of January 26. Fishing was very challenging because of the numerous cold fronts that came through. Crabs were not active at all, and Bonnie was almost exclusively used by me and my friends with the good results. If you have any question about materials, tools, please go contact me through my website, automaticbobbin.com or wreckagebobbin.com, and I hope you like it. Thank you for watching.